So restoring this Mazda Miata with a V6 block engine, a local version, Philippines local version, and some details to consider. There's no bolt here at the ignition coil, and they tried to reconnect the oxygen sensor, but you'll see the wiring here. Oh, the oxygen sensor is not the original one, since the socket of the oxygen sensor is not an OEM socket for the Mazda. So they don't have an equivalent socket for it. So the top wires at the harness of the oxygen sensor, there goes, no protection, COT insulator protection, and it's connected here. They don't have a socket. Oh, it's burned. That's why they just stop the wires to the harness. I have an available socket for this one, a Japan surplus socket. We can change the socket and the equivalent male socket to change this socket here, the non-OEM socket, and insulate this so that it will look like an OEM configuration. The heat shield, so you'll see the heat shield here. There's no bolt here, and the bolting area here is very corroded. Also here, there's no bolt. I think I have a Japan surplus heat shield for this, so we can change this to a fresher one. We can also delete this hose here, the coolant hose for the heater core, a total delete. You'll see no more hose here and no more bypass pipe here. You'll see the lower radiator hose, it already has cracks, you'll see. So you need to change this. This is very risky for the engine. Once this hose leaks radiator water, it will surely be very damaging for the engine, since it's a lower radiator hose. All the coolant, the radiator water, will go out of the engine, since this is a lower hose. It can possibly cause a major engine damage, since all the coolant will go out of the engine through this lower radiator hose. A major overheat, a major damage to the engine might happen. Unlike the upper radiator hose, if this one cracked, still there's a coolant inside the engine, so it will just slowly run out of coolant. I also suggest to change this one. As you'll see, they just remedied it. Change this with a proper rubber hose. Change the whole thing from here to the inlet pipe. The wiring system for the pop-up mechanism is not working. We tried the pop-up motor of my half cut, the JDM half cut, and we plugged it here and tried to operate it, and it's not working. So this one, we need to rewire the system for the track motors. Also this one here, there's no insulator. This diagnostic port has a crack. It's installed like this. I can change this one. I have stocks, Japan surplus stocks. As you'll see, there's a non-original relay. I also have a cover here available. It's from my JDM half-cut Mazda Miata NA. The relay cover here. And if this is my Miata, I will remove the HVAC assembly and remove the heater core and plug rubber inserts here to cover the holes of the firewall for the previous ports for the heater core. And here at the front, you'll see there are non-original relays here. I think this is for the aircon system, originally bolted here with the OEM relays. I don't have any more original relays for this one. The one from my half cut is already sold, but I can wire this clean and install it on this side or tuck it anywhere hidden to make this area here very clean. You'll also see here many exposed wires Also this one here, just use the steel wire. I can make a steel wire for this that looks like the original one, unlike this one. It's shaped very bad. So if you want, I can change that clip for the TPS. The insulator here for the TPS socket, I think I also have. If you want to change it so that the wires is not exposed like this. I also have an OEM thermo switch and the OEM thermo switch socket. You can wire that also back to its original configuration. So you'll see there's an excessive wire here. This is for the power steering load sensor. Also needs fixing. Because this is not an original thermo switch, and also as you'll see, the layout, it's not good. The insulator is not good. Also the wires for the injectors, as you'll see, lots of exposed wires. Also here, the wiring for the horn also needs a rewire for me to make it look cleaner. And you'll see the wiring for the pop-up motor. The wires are already corroded. So you'll see the green color, greenish color. Also the wire for the radiator fan needs a rewire. No socket. Oh, look at that wiring. Need also to repair that wiring over there. It's so near that belt for the power steering and the compressor. Also here, lots of exposed wiring at the starter wires, the alternator wires. It's very risky. Those are thick wires. When shorted, it can possibly cause a fire in the engine bay. There's a relay here. I don't know what's the relay for. This one here. And as you'll see, the hose for the charcoal canister. I don't know why they changed it like this, but no problem. The customer already approved for the removal of the emissions, the what you call this, the purge control system. I'll be removing the purge control system here to make the engine bay look cleaner. And I'm also wondering why there's a spring here. This is non-OEM. We need to remove that. And there's no bolt here, so we need to add bolt here. There's no rubber for the PCB valve. There's no PCB valve. They just plug the PCB valve port. And the harness for the ignition coil, I don't know why it's like this. Oh, there's a strip black wire. One of the igniter nuts is missing. So, oh, the vacuum hose, and the vacuum hose for the pressure regulator here, we need to change that. To fully seat the vacuum hose, definitely needs a rewire, a complete system rewire here. Not necessarily changing all the wires. What I'll be doing is to inspect all the wires. Of course, we need to strip all the wiring and check each wire and replace a very worn wire. And if all the wires are already good, the connections to the sockets are already good, then we're going to re-insulate it. But still, it's an equivalent of a rewiring. I just don't agree in changing all the wires since the OEM wiring is better since it's color coded. So as much as possible we retain the original wiring, but repair the ones only that needs repairing, and we insulate proper layout. That's it. Also, I have a fuse box cover here available if you want to add the original fuse box cover here. This one here, the 100 amp fuse for the alternator, between the alternator and the battery. We already changed this one here because it's already defective. It's cracked and they just linked it together, so it's not safe. So that's it. I think that's it. So really needs a complete rewire to make the engine bay look good again, and of course to make it safe against fire. Also there, the MAP sensor, as you see the socket for the MAP sensor, actually it's a DAF sensor, beam airflow. I have an available insulator to change this one if you want to change it. You can also paint the valve cover, and we can also remove this decal here, clean it. The upper radiator rose, I think it's still good, but the lower radiator rose definitely bad. That needs replacement. So that's all.